What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about one key main issue with a lawn care landscaping business or any business that is very much so reliant on weather. So this entire week we've been getting rained on to a point where today everything is just so wet and disgusting, and it's still raining, that I can't justify going out because everything that I do is just not going to look good. There's going to be clumps all over the place. And then next week, we're going to go back out and everything is going to be twice as long as it's supposed to be because it got skipped this week due to the weather. So that's kind of the one thing I want to talk about, is that this week has pretty much been a wash. Every day this week we have gotten rain, whether it's all day or throughout the day, we have gotten rain. So that is one of the biggest problems with a business like this, is you are very much so reliant on the weather, very much so kind of at the mercy of Mother Nature. Meaning that it kind of can make your life more difficult, as well as a route that you have planned may take longer or less time, which is definitely one of the biggest cons of doing this business as your livelihood. Now, that is not to say that there aren't a lot of good points, because if there weren't a lot of good points, none of us would be doing it. Upstate New York weather has its, fun quirks and everything else, to where on like April 7th or 8th this year, we got a snowstorm, which is great. Upstate New York's weather does what Upstate New York's weather wants to do. And this week, we haven't gotten rain. Like, this summer has been a very, very dry summer, to a point where lawns were getting skipped for 2 to 3 weeks at a time going through June and July, because we just weren't getting any rain. Everything was burning up. We were getting excessive heats of over 95 to 100 degrees, zero rain, everything was burnt, and there was no reason to cut it at that point. And now, last week and this week, we have gotten poured on almost every day, and we can't keep up. That is by far one of the biggest issues. And if you're, running solo, you can kind of move things around. You're going to be working a lot more, a lot longer to catch up and kind of play that game of catch up. If you have guys, that's a whole nother challenge to face. But that's kind of one of the biggest issues with this particular type of business, of the rain and the weather being very prominent in your work, and not necessarily having a full say over what you're going to do and when is definitely a challenge. Because like today I had it is technically the first week of August. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. And I had a full, I think it was 15 or 16 lawns that were supposed to be done today, all of which have now gotten pushed due to the fact that it is just absolutely soaked and disgusting everywhere, and there's nothing that I can do about it. And then you get, the other huge pro of getting rained on and having a rain out, which is the amount of phone calls that you will then get from people who are like, well, why weren't you here earlier? Or why is my lawn not getting done this week when it's supposed to be? And at the end of the day, we can't control the weather. So while yes, there are a lot of understanding people and are like, okay, just, get here when you can. When we have been getting rained on since Monday afternoon, everything gets pushed. Everything takes longer. There's music playing back there and I can't figure it out. Everything gets pushed. Everything takes longer. And inevitably it makes it very, very difficult for your normal schedule to kind of operate how it's supposed to. Now, if we had 7 days of nothing but sunny skies, everything is perfect. Till we don't get rain for a month, and then everything is terrible because nothing is growing. So these are kind of the things that you have to think about. And actually the main reason why I decided to make this video is because I saw a post on Facebook that was a guy complaining that, oh my God, we've been getting rained on all week. I don't know how anybody can make a life out of this. This is so difficult, blah, 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 blah. And although there is some validity to the fact that the weather is your work is very contingent on the weather, and it can be a royal pain in the ass sometimes. But that does not at all and should not at all discourage you from going into business for yourself, especially a business like this. Because while, yes, you may have your couple of days or your weeks that get thrown off completely by the weather, I will honestly tell you that this is the only thing that I would ever want to do. I have done a lot of things in my life, in, work sense, between working at restaurants, working at mechanic shops, working at vet clinics, working at, a bunch of different stuff. And this is by far my favorite thing to do because I love what I do. I'm in control of my own schedule. I kind of pick and choose my work how I want it. I'm getting paid exactly what I want, and the money is great. And at the end of the day, I'm happy to get up, get out of bed, go to work. I'm happy to be working all day, even though I'm working longer hours than anybody else in society that's working a normal job. All you lawn care landscapers out there don't have to get on me. I know you guys work a lot too. But, there's a lot of things that a lot of people would never be able to do because of this business and like how this business operates. They just would never do it or would never want to do it. This is honestly one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, and I will never turn back from that, because at the end of the day, while yes, there are shortcomings and there are their struggles, I cannot complain in the slightest about anything, regarding this business. I have been fortunate enough to come from one place last summer to an incredibly different place this year due to just the sheer amount of work that I've taken on and kind of built myself up with. And that is another huge thing, is the growth that you will see in just a year's time is absolutely crazy. And again, it all comes down to the amount of work that you can do, the amount of money that you can make, and whether or not you enjoy the work. I have been very fortunate with very, very good clients. I still get my bad couple who are thinking I can control the weather, thinking that they're always going to be on the top of the list, and that's just not how it works, unfortunately. But everybody will get those. Trust me, if you get into this business, or if you're in this business, you've had those. You know you have. And so that part of it, honestly, to me, is a wash, because I have so many good clients that the bad ones just kind of even out. This week, I have gotten 4 phone calls from one client asking me when I'm going to be there to do the lawn. He was on the schedule for yesterday, and we got rained out yesterday afternoon. And then he was on the schedule for today, and as you guys can see, we're not doing much today because it is disgusting. Absolutely flooded. Down the road for me is actually flooded completely, and so because I live on top of a hill, so as you go down it just gets worse. And so yeah, there's not really all that much that we can do, and I guess people just don't really understand that. And this particular customer's attitude toward me was, well, why weren't you here earlier this week when you knew it was going to rain? Which is a fine attitude to have, except for the fact that we have to think about is, like, I have 60 clients, 60 lawns to get done from Sunday to Saturday. 7 days, 7 days a week. I have 60 lawns to get done, and then I start over again. It's not that much, but when you think about it, every day you have a schedule to do something. So Monday was one route, Tuesday's another route, Wednesday's another route, Thursday's another route, Friday's another route, Saturday's another route. Saturday's a commercial route, which on a week like this week, a lot of residentials will get pushed to because I'm out anyway. They need to get taken care of. They weren't taken care of during the week. Any skips that happen, anything like that can get pushed. Where that becomes kind of a difficulty and a struggle is we get rained out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Thursday, Friday, or whatever. I don't have enough days to kind of recoup. So what ends up happening is we just have a skip week. That skip week isn't a huge deal, except for the fact that now when we go back, everything is way longer than it would be if it was done at the correct time, especially when we've gotten this kind of rain. So these are all things that, you think about when going into business for yourself, and I've thought, severely about, is kind of what is like the pros and the cons of doing this. And the pro is very obvious, got a nice truck, nice equipment, much more to come. That trailer's going bye-bye very soon. I make my own schedule, I make good money, I enjoy what I do, and I can't complain. The cons are you are very much so contingent on the weather. You have to deal with, if you were working a regular job, like you're working at a restaurant, you have to deal with the public, but they're in and out and you may never see them again. Or this business, you have however many clients that are there with you all year. And if you do a good job, they will be with you for a very long time. And so, kind of got to pick and choose your battles almost. A very generic, basic response that I send to my customers is just, I can't control the weather. You will get done as soon as time has become available. And, we can get work done that's not going to look like absolute garbage because of the weather. That's a very, very important part, is if you tell your clients, actually what I've resorted to telling my clients is, I can come and do your lawn today and it's going to look terrible because the lawn is going to be soaking wet, it's going to get matted down, it's not going to look good, there's going to be clumps all over the place, and there's nothing I can do about it. Whereas if we were to wait a little while, yes, it's going to be longer, but any clumping or clippings that you see with dry grass are a lot different than clumpings and debris that you see with wet grass. Dry grass, I can take a leaf blower, like a backpack blower, and blow them away, and you won't even know they're there within 30 to 45 seconds. Where wet grass, those clumps don't just break up. You spend a long time getting rid of them. If you can even get rid of them, a lot of cases when it's this wet, they will not go anywhere. I mean, you can push them somewhere, but all they're going to do is just form like little round balls of grass that don't break up, and it looks terrible. What I've resorted to telling my clients is, if you want the lawn to look good like it normally does and up to that standard, we have to wait until everything dries out. If you don't care how it looks, and I personally don't like doing this, but if you don't care how it looks, I'll come and do it today. My clients are all of a higher, I want it to look good, I want my house to look good, I want my lawn to look good. So they don't want it done when it's piss pouring rain or when it's just absolutely disgusting out, because they know it's not going to look good. Whereas, some of your $20 guys may go out in this, but also the clients that they're looking at just want their lawn cut. They don't care how it looks, they just need it cut because they don't feel like doing it. That's the big difference, is your clientele makes a huge difference in the work that you can do, the work that you can provide, and the attitude that they're going to give you when things come up. Especially when it's people who understand, like, hey, he is contingent on the weather, or she is contingent on the weather. There is nothing they can do about this, and they will get to us when they get to us. That's how it goes. So I just wanted to pop up in here and kind of get your guys' feedback, see what you do when you're getting rained out all week. And yeah, so that's my take on it. I don't know if any of this video made sense. I'm going to go back through and editing and try and figure out, what I was trying to say. But at the end of the day, I will still stand by the fact that I love this business. I love what I do. I wouldn't change it for a thing. And, it has been an absolutely hell of a ride, and I can't complain in the slightest. So very, very soon, I'm going to do a full equipment run through. Because I know that the last video we kind of did like a very quick debrief, but I want to do a full equipment run through on everything. So there's baggers over there for the mowers that I want to pull out and show you guys how everything works, and tools that are just stashed away because they don't get used, so they're not on the mowing trailer. Walkthrough of equipment, and how I was talking about like this mower just kind of being a fun unit to operate. But yeah, so all of that is coming. Give me some time and we'll get it all done. So thanks for checking this video out, and make sure to like and subscribe, and see y'all in the next one. Peace.